Hi everyone, this is Derek, and this video is for if you are becoming a teacher with WMB Kids. So first off, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on mission to disciple the next generation. Your role is so vital, so important, as we show the next generation how to follow Jesus for life. And this video specifically is just simply how to access your curriculum that you will be using to teach from. So I'm going to share my screen and I will try to walk you through this step by step. It will not be perfect, but I think it will be helpful. And if you ever have any questions, please feel free to email me or send me a note. I want to start right from Google, just because I know when you open up your Google browser, this is normally where you would start from. So you open up your internet browser, and you are going to go to store.thinkorange.com. Now, this is the website of our curriculum. We use a curriculum called Orange Curriculum. I'm going to sign out so I can show you how to sign in. We use a curriculum called Orange Curriculum. We've been using it at WMB now for almost 4 years, or maybe 4 years. And what it is a curriculum in the States, a fairly large one of the bigger ones. And it is a curriculum that actually has been recently purchased by an organization called Amazing Life. So it's undergone some changes, but if you're new to it, that doesn't affect you that much. Anyways, all that aside, we're now on our website, store.thinkorange.com. Like you saw me do, I signed out. I'm now going to sign in. You press that sign in button right there. Now, I should have said from earlier, you are going to get an email. I have to add your email to the curriculum to access it. So you're going to get an email asking you to create an account. So you're going to have to do that first. If you don't get that email, when I tell you I'm sending you it, let me know. Let's say you created your account, you did that process. Now this is just logging in. You're going to log in, put in your email, put in your password. Hopefully mine works. And here we go. Once it loads, your screen's going to look a little bit like this. We do not have first look, we don't have middle school, and we don't have high school curriculum. What we do have is 252 kids and 252 preteen, which is grade 4 or 5. Now, for this curriculum, it says it's going to renew at this time. And because of that, I haven't renewed it for the new ministry year. We only have up until August. Now, because it's a American curriculum, their school year and their curriculum year is actually August to the end of May. And then they do something a little bit different for June and July, which is the American summer, at least in most states. And the states where this curriculum is developed out of, it's Georgia, is the hub for the curriculum. And with that, that just means it throws it off a little bit, but it's not a big deal. I don't find it affects us that much. As you can see there, I clicked on the 252 kids one, and then we are going to go to our month. Of course, it'd be whatever month you are teaching in. Once you get to this page, it's going to look a little bit like this. Right away, it looks a little bit confusing. Now, this video here is for teachers of our classes, which the language for that is small groups. So what you really need to know is right here, large groups and small groups. This is really where you're going to live. Just very quickly, if you ever want to watch the video for the week or see a bit more of the story, you can go to Media Package, Bible Story videos. We use StoryLab and click whatever week it is. But that's just if you're wanting to look a little bit deeper into that. Now, for us, in this curriculum, there's also something called a scope and sequence. So if you ever want to find that, I'll show you really quick. You go to Start Here, Vision Casting, Kids, Scope, and Sequence, or sorry, I guess they call it Scope and Cycle. There's always, those are synonyms. Then you can scroll down and you can see all year what we're going to be doing. Now, if you've heard before, just from different people who've taught with this curriculum, the curriculum, because it was just purchased, got a revamp, and we're really excited with this revamp. It's much more biblically centered, Jesus-centered, and gospel-centered. So I'm really excited about this. In addition, I think it really just has more of a story flow too, which is really helpful. Now, for large group, the actual Bible story time, in Waterloo, grade 1 to 5, so Explorers to the Dreamers class, they do a large group time together on the benches. And then Discoverers are going to do their own class time in the class, the story in the class. So for both of those options, we either do a video, we do the script, the large group script, which is in another place, or we do the Spark Storybook Bible and Discoverers. That's all for Waterloo and Kitchener. Explorers do the same as the Waterloo Discoverers, and then the other class, the Adventurers, do what the grade 1 to 5 in Waterloo do. I know that was confusing. If you're confused by what I just said, don't worry about it. All right, let's get to the real reason we're here. Your page looks like this. You come on, you want to find your lesson. Let's say, for example, that I'm a teacher, I'm brand new, and I'm teaching in Waterloo, let's say, and I'm teaching the Explorers class. So that is our grade 1 class. And I need to find my curriculum, and I am teaching, let's say I'm teaching in August, and I'm teaching the third week, which is August, Sunday, August 17th. So that is the third week of August. So it doesn't have specific dates on the curriculum, but you got to know what week you're doing. So take a look at your calendar, figure out what week of August it is, what Sunday it is. Then you're going to click the groups, large group and small group. You're going to go to small group, and here is how Orange separates the grades. So they have K to 1, grade 2 to 3. So small group, remember, it's just like class, 2 to 3, and then preteen, which is grade 4 to 5. I'm teaching Explorers in Waterloo, so that's grade 1. So I'm going to go to small group K to 1. Now, here's where I said you need to know what week you're teaching. So I'm teaching August 17th, 2025. That is the third week of August 2025. So right here, I got week 1. So here's kind of their code to decipher it. Small group, kindergarten to grade 1, week 1. Now, for me, I want week 3. Now, there's different options that I can do for this. I can do a PDF version, which is what Derek, always use, or you can use an editable doc. Some people like the doc because you can erase what you're not going to use. For me, I like to use the PDF version. I print it off and I just highlight what I'm going to use. All right. And there's some other things at the bottom I'll get to in a sec. Let's open up our lesson plan, shall we? All right, here's our lesson plan. It's loading. And this is a little bit what it looks like. So on the right, you got very simply your Bible story. So our Bible story is God chooses Abram, and it's got our Bible reference, which is, as a teacher, I encourage you, look up the reference in the Bible so you know the story. We have a bottom line for the day, and we have our memory verse, which is for the entire month. And then this is where people get a little bit confused because we're seeing some like small group, large group, small group. This is just a for kids ministry suggested schedule. What we do at WMB Kids is this is for you as teachers. So you're only doing this small group section. It says 25 minutes. Sometimes ours are longer. Sometimes ours are right around there. Sometimes ours are 20 minutes, right? It's fluid. But either way, that is just what we're doing. Now, you can scroll down and we got different activities. We have, as you can see, there's an opening activity and then we got some different group activities. Now, what I always do is, for me, I just go through the activities and pick which ones I like. I don't do it in the specific order. I don't do it in a specific, exact schedule. I say, what activities do I want to do? How do I want to do it? I highlight and I could even number them on my page. I don't do that, but I just highlight exactly what I want to do. So there's also some different ways that you can know what type of activity it is right from looking at it in 2 seconds. They got different things here called made to play, made to imagine, made to move, made to connect, made to reflect. That's the ones on this lesson. There's also made to create as well, and I believe that's all of them. That way you can just right away know what type of activity it is. If it's a made to play, it's more of a play-based. If it's made to move, it's more of a physical activity. If it's made to create, it's more of a craft, like arts and crafts. If it's made to reflect, it's more of like asking them questions. If it's made to a connect, it's more getting them talking with each other and interacting with each other and connecting with the word. So that's kind of how you can right away see what type of activity it is. I'm going to go back up to the top here and we're going to go to our first activity, the groups 1-4. Then it also says what type of faith skill it is. So you got hear from God, pray from God, talk about God, live for God. So that just kind of tells you right there. And then it also says specifically what the activity is called. We're going on a scavenger hunt. It says Bible story review. Here's superhero obstacle course, application activity, puzzled, memory verse activity, pray and dismiss, pray activity, right? So it just kind of gives you very specific activities. Now, I want to say this now, and you'll hear me say this all the time to teachers. The curriculum is a resource. It is not the be all end all. It does not have to be exactly in the exact schedule and the exact setting that it is. It is a resource for you. I have great teachers, or even myself as a teacher, that some weeks I think the curriculum sucks. And I'm like, all these activities stink. So what I do is I go on Pinterest and I create my entire own lesson plan. There's other weeks where I use every single activity in the curriculum. It's just sometimes it's hit and miss, right? There's no perfect curriculum. And sometimes I just don't personally, as a teacher, connect with that curriculum in that way. What I do is stay online with the lesson because we do want to be cohesive. We send out take home sheets. Like, you can't change the story. However, what you can do is focus on different things sometimes, but then also, really, if sometimes when it comes to activities, sometimes I go all Pinterest and I look on Pinterest and find my own activities, or I look on different kids ministry websites or handouts or stuff. Sometimes I go on Canva and create my own stuff, right? That's fine. This is a resource for you, and those are resources as well. This is your central resource. This is your main resource, being the curriculum, but there are other resources you can use. So, what I do is I go through the curriculum, I highlight what activities I'm like, yeah, I would do that, I do that. Sometimes I do all 4 or 5, sometimes I do literally none, like I said. Then what you're gonna do is you can basically just read through the lesson, or read through the activity. It says what you do, what you say. This again psychs teachers out a little bit. They're like, what? I gotta like say exactly what it says? No, no, no. It's a resource. Just keep remembering that. It's a resource, right? So some people, they really prefer that. They want to know exactly how would I explain this. So they look at the what you say script. That's what it is. It's a script. Other people don't even look at that at all. Myself, I don't really look at that, or I glance through, get the main idea, and I talk. Derek does not use scripts, but it is there as a resource. They just want to give you more than you need to set you up well. Then it also says what you do, and it goes through one by one. Now, here's another really important thing. Two other important things: what you need, and then inclusive pro tips. I'm going to do inclusive pro tips really quick. This is just how to make it more inclusive, and just to make sure, like, some kids need more things. So, for example, it says here, consider the needs of your group. Some kids might need extra time coming up with riddle answers or to search for the envelopes. Be patient and assist when needed. If kids don't enjoy searching, invite them to hold an envelope or help you place the pictures in order. It's just different little reminders about how you can make sure it's good for all the kids that are struggling. And then here is what you need. Now, this will always be on the left, and at the very bottom of the lesson plan, it has a getting ready where it kind of summarizes all that you need. I actually never use that. I always just look for each one and see, what do I need? So, for example, open activity, no supplies needed. For this one, it needs a activity page, which I'm going to show you in one sec. For this one, Bibles, chairs, bins, trash can, floor tape. So just different items. Sometimes it's a little bit, this is a critique of Orange curriculum. Sometimes the items are like crazy. Like, I'm like, I don't have that stuff. And that sometimes writes off an activity, and I'm using Pinterest. But it's always worth looking at and seeing what you can do. For this one, it says it needs an activity page. You're like, where do I find these activity pages? Let me show you. So let's get away from our lesson, and we are now back on this page where we found the lesson to start. You're going to scroll down. Remember, keep the code going. This here is small group K1 week 3. Down here, we got our activity pages. AP stand for activity page. And then we have AP SG K1. Yep, that's me. They have PDF version, an editable PDF, a black and white PDF as well. So the different ones. So for me, I typically just use this. Click on the PDF, and there it is. And you have all your activity pages. If you want to know which one lines up with which, it says at the very bottom exactly what it is for. And it also says what to do. If you want printing stuff printed off, you can always talk to the Sunday coordinator, or myself if you're in Waterloo, or Emily if you're in Waterloo, Lisa or Margaret if you're in Kitchener, or some teachers print off at home. That's up to you, whatever you want to do. The editable version here, it looks like, yeah, it just looks like it's a little bit different for this one page. So play around with it. That's the other thing. Like, this is a portal for curriculum. You're not going to mess stuff up by playing around with it. You don't have the admin privileges to do that. So just play around with it a little bit, become familiar with it. It's a new system. I know it's something that I'm like, oh, I wish it was just like everyone knows Google. In a way, I wish everything was just on Google. But it is the portal. It's where we find all our curriculum. And once you get to know it, it works really well. The main thing is sometimes people come on and they're like, oh, I'm just going to press download to download my lesson. That downloads everything, like for the entire month. So don't press that. What I encourage you to do is just follow along what we did and find your lesson. If you go at the top here, we have a bit of a summary video that you could watch as well if you are wanting to do that. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I'd be happy to help you. And thank you. Thank you once again for stepping into this role as a teacher. And we are so excited to have you on the team. Thanks, everyone.